it's done for. Cauanzin, he's trying so hard for his side, and the 1v1, FNS. Oh my god! Cauanzin keeping hope alive below.
What a round!
Hey team, welcome back to another video, and what an absolute banger of a match we had. Loud versus NRG here at Lockdown to qualify through to the playoff bracket. There's so many different angles that you could come at this game. There were a number of specific things that players are doing that you could point out and make a whole video about. But what I wanted to do today was give credit to where credit was due. The two new players for Loud, Cauanzin and tyuz. We're going to be highlighting two of their rounds, the two clutches for this game and critical rounds. Firstly, we're going to come to round 20 and look at this eco that Loud has against NRG. Now, NRG, they are starting to mount this comeback. They've brought it back to 9-10, 4 in a row. And Loud's economy here, you can see, is pretty busted up, but they do have two ults on hand for their two duelists. They're going to do is that they are going to pop the jet knives straight away and push out Dish as this 4-stack with some utility, try and get a pick and try and get another tool here that they can use to go along with the 3 sheriffs and the knives and the showstopper ult that they can use for retake. So they're happy to give up a bunch of space, especially in towards this A main area, you can see. And then Les is all the way over on his lonesome in tower with a judge. They invest the judge into this round. NRG also have a great idea. They get a knife and a cam into here. And now we're going to see the layers come out. So NRG, they're going to get some early pressure in towards B with this stun. They're going to walk up. And as you can see here, Loud, they're already out all the way looking into Dish, or will be in a moment, at least Aspas will be. And on top of all of this, we get the Brimstone smoke here to like counter contest this space, but that Cypher Cam is going to be really good in the long run to being able to re-clear it here for FNS. Loud pick the wrong site. They don't get to force the fight that they want. You can see Cauanzin and STACK look like they're rotating back towards A. tyuz is looking in towards A as well, and I believe that is because FNS popped the door open with his camera. He shot at the door and popped it open to get that info. And it's also sold Loud into a fake towards A. And it's not until they start coming out B that Loud actually turn around and continue flanking with Aspas in a group. Now, this is an absolutely awesome decision because it feeds into their whole setup here. Les here, he gets one. He doesn't over peak and go for the second, but he is forced back with the aftershock and he's forced into Artist, but that's all right because the cavalry has arrived. The 3 Loud members, they rush back into Arcade, and then Aspas just does Aspas things. Ness is wrapped back under here to get this pick, and this is fine to like equalize those numbers and contest that Arcade. It is quite risky, and FNS gets one tap there by the Sheriff. It's not a tradable position. It's a gun to be picked up, but he does well to equalize these numbers. But this is the kind of plays that you need to have when you're being a championship team. Aspas just goes and gets 2. Really bad positioning there from the NRG players. There's just a bit of miscommunication here between Crashes and Victor ends up running this way right as Aspas comes through, and Crashes is forced to solo hold this. Aspas just diffs both of them, hitting nice shots. And then FNS, because he's gone for this wrap, is just so far away from the spike. Great discipline there from tyuz. Jiggles out, takes that angle, swings back in right as STACK swings, and tyuz comes to swing back out. STACK closes out that round, and with a whole 15 seconds to spare, Loud with the thrifty to get themselves to 11, a crucial round in this close game. Coming into round 24 here, we're going to get this early aggression using the Raze here. You've seen it with Neon, you've seen it with Raze, but it always has this Brimstone smoke and this breach stun coming across this line to get this space. STACK, a little bit of indecision with the Brimbot, but it eventually sends it through the smoke. Gets broken by Som, and now Cauanzin, he's going to just send the breach ult here, and he's not going to catch either of these NRG players, but they are going to force them to move. And we've got Aspas here on Dish holding this nice angle. This is a really advantageous angle to hold. Don't get up here and peek down here. Come back into this angle. It's a nice little off angle. Your angle advantage because you're further away from the corner than them swinging into you. Really unluckily, to be honest. But it allows NRG to come in. They ult down in towards NRG are trying to achieve. stalls them out completely, and then we end up in another 3v3. Finesse looking to push himself away from the spike again, and it's going to cost him in this round again. He's going to get this early pick here, but then his ult comes out, we break the cam, we get left in this position. Now we're in a 2v3. 2 people on spike, and then FNS in spawn. He's got to make a move, in my opinion. He can't hold this forever. This is going to be a fight that he just has to take. But this play from Cauanzin, Aftershocks gets the top of site and the bottom of site. Artist goes down with the spam. Swam's about to swing and die as well. Now, Finesse gets this kill here. Finesse does take this kill against tyuz. It does make it really hard for him to wrap around through here. What I would have liked from tyuz would have just been to come around through here and force this fight here with Cauanzin. Knowing that FNS is here, potentially wrapping here, it's just such a dangerous area to be trying to walk through. You can't be walking into sight facing this way towards FNS because they could just swing you at any moment. Then Cauanzin comes up with just an incredible shot here, stalls himself, and then that's the young blood versus the old dog right there. Cauanzin domes Finesse and takes it to overtime. The rookie showing up. All right, so round 31 here. Loud's no more mucking around. They've got the double duelist. It's time to go for a 5-stack, send it through a main. They do get stunned by the breach. Aftershock is going to hold them up a little bit as well as this KO knife tagging all 5 members. That allows NRG to come and stack the site and start getting set up. And they send Artist down through main to cut them off as well. So they've got to get moving. Otherwise, NRG is going to lock this down. So they send it through Sands. They're going to try and take this Sands control. And it's a great smoke from Som for a couple of different reasons. One, these duelists are trying to come up onto the top of rafters here. You see Aspas and Sadak. They are trying to isolate this fight, and Finesse does well to tuck himself in this corner. But it also doesn't allow the players down the bottom of Sands to swing through and have all of this supported in with different gun angles. And all NRG's goal here is just to stall Loud out for as long as possible, because they have Artists closing in, like holding this back door. Eventually, if they are forced to rotate, they're going to have to peek into an op, and that's what NRG wants to do. They have so much map control right now. They have all the way down here. Les has just taken back his turret as well, so Artist is going to be able to keep creeping up even further now. And they just get held in Sands and at this choke bait into sight. We've got the one-way there from Finesse, and the smoke comes down, and look at this firing line and this positioning here from NRG. It's just impossible to get through. They've got the cam and the trip up here protecting them as well. Also with the knowledge that this has been smoked off. Somebody's playing the swingman here, being able to support FNS as he's tucked into this little corner, but then also being able to swing and push Sands as well. Then what's going to happen is they do get a little bit unruly and they go forward into Sands. Victor gets traded out by tyuz, and now it starts to break down a little bit. Now the hold isn't as strong. There's a couple more gaps. You know, this is now a solo fight over here for Crashies. Les is in the 2v1, and Loud decide they need to make a play. Les hits that shot and continues pushing. Can't get FNS. His gun is reloading, and it's just so close. He's so worried about Crashies swinging around that he has to come back for this fight, and he gets it. And now Les almost just puts it away right now, but Finesse with that reloaded gun is able to clutch out that little 1v1. And now they've got a 1v2 versus tyuz, the rookie. And Artist makes a read. They know that tyuz was somewhere in Sands, so it makes sense that tyuz is going to try and rotate. Artist is going to try and beat him there. And he very nearly does. tyuz is able to come here, and he taps the spike. He taps the spike, and Artist's crosshair goes from this very steady movement into a little bit of a jolt and then comes back, and that actually baits the crosshair of Artist over to the right. You can just see it. Go back and slow down this video and watch it. You can see Artist, that nice little flick, and then Finesse Pulls his gun out as he's coming around that corner, but just not ready for that fight, it looks like. Also only one tap. And that's the kind of thing that you need to be champions. At the top level, teams are going to be really well drilled, play really coordinated, play high level strategies and all these types of wonderful things. But sometimes you just need that X factor, that clutch gene. You just need to know that your players can go and make a play and just win the game when you need to. Big players step up in big moments. And Cauanzin and tyuz, they have the potential to be big players in this 2023 VCT season.